This is Chuck Johnson, and I'm here to show you. Yo, this is Chuck, and welcome to episode 16 of How to Defeat Dudes. So in this episode, we're going to be continuing our discussion about defenses from punches. In the last episode, we dealt with haymakers like this. Okay? In this episode, we're going to be dealing with how to handle straight punches, like so. Now, generally speaking, straight punches are the domain of trained fighters. People that have been trained in how to fight will throw straight punches at you because they know it's more efficient. People who don't know how to fight or who've never actually studied fighting before will generally throw the really wild kind of haymaker shots. So that being the case, you're going to have to deal with a lot more of these kinds of punches than you would these kinds of punches. But even so, every so often you have these homeboys that go into a martial arts school or go into a fight gym, learn a little bit of stuff, and then end up getting kicked out for bad behavior or whatever. So they leave knowing stuff, and they still like to get into fights. So that being the case, we need to train against straight punches as well. So, let's take a look. So Dino, shall we give it a try with some straight punch defense?
Absolutely. Let's have a butcher's.
What the hell's a butcher's, man?
Come on, mate. Company rhyming slang. Butcher's hook?
Alright, give me another one.
Britney Spears.
Shaved head?
Okay. Ringo Starr.
Unpopular Beatle? Alright, man, whatever. So now, folks, let's take a look at how you can get yourself into a strong fighting stance without necessarily escalating the situation and making it any worse. So now, first and foremost, let's say that I'm in a confrontational situation with Dean. The thing that I'm going to do before anything else is I nonchalantly step back like this, pulling one leg back, and then raising up the hands as if I'm just trying to get him to calm down. I'm saying, brother, calm down, man. Just calm down. Just be cool. You know, we boys. Like this kind of stuff, right? But what I'm really doing is I'm raising up my guard like this, so that in the case that he does actually throw some kind of a punch, boom, I've got a guard up like that. So now that you've ever so nonchalantly stepped yourself back into a position that you can effectively defend yourself from, let's say that he goes ahead and he takes a shot at you. Boom. Now in the case of a straight punch, it's coming at you really fast. With a haymaker, like as we discussed in the last episode, you can kind of see it coming. So you can step back to get out of the way like this, or you can actually go under it like that. In the case of a straight, because it's just straight, one, you can't see it nearly as easily, and two, you just really don't have very much time at all to work with. And as such, you're much better off moving laterally. As the punch is coming in straight this way, you want to go this way. Okay? As it comes in, boom, I want to go to the side, moving my body out of the way. Let's try that on the other side. So if he comes in this way, boom, I want to go this way. If you'll notice, again, just like with the haymakers, I'm going to the outside, not to the inside. So if Dean throws that punch, and then I go this way, again, I'm still just right in range for him to just blast me with the other one, which you really, really don't want. So as the punch comes in, boom, off to the outside. And then again, while he's out here, I've got all kinds of options because this arm is fully extended and that one is out of reach. And if you'll notice, since I've got my guard up anyway, I can use my guard to actually guide the punch out of the way. Now let's do it with the other arm so I can show you what I mean. From here, boom, like that. Even if I didn't have that guard, if I move well, doesn't matter. But you have the guard just in case. And then also from there, that gives you more options. So let us take a look at these other options. So one option could be after the block, boom, then you come in, boom, with an elbow to the ribs, just like with a haymaker. Another one, block, boom, and then you just punch him in the face. Or block, boom, boom, 1, 2. Or you can even go as it comes in, down, boom, and then ridge hand to the throat. Okay? Or palm heel to the nose, or box his ear. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. The main point is just to get out of the way of the punch, moving sideways. Sideways, 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 sideways. Okay? So now let's take a look at a way that you could take them down to the ground without having to break any of their bones or really seriously hurt them. Because as we all know, there's always a legal side to getting into fights as well. You break a lot of bones, you do a lot of serious damage, or, heaven forbid you actually kill them. You've got manslaughter on your hands, or at least a lot of hospital bills or kind of legal troubles. So let's not get involved with any of that stuff. There's nothing worse than having to pay somebody else's hospital bills or having to end up going to jail just because you're defending yourself. So now let's say that I'm smart enough to stand just outside of his punching range. So that leads him to throw a jab like this, stepping in. So now let's say I've stepped back into this guarded position, and then as Dean comes in with his punch, he gives me his front leg. Let's take a look at one way that you can take them down. Now, in order to do this technique, there's 4 things that need to happen. 1, the lateral movement to get your body and head safely out of the way of the punch. 2, the step in to lock up the legs nice and tight. Number 3, body to body. Now, basically, anytime you're trying to throw somebody, while there are exceptions, generally you want to have your body right in up against their body so that you can use your core energy or your core strength to throw them. Okay? If you're out like this, then basically you're just trying to muscle with your arms and with your legs, and it's going to be a lot harder, particularly if they're the same size as you or if they're even bigger. Okay? So again, in close like this, as tight as you can. And number 4, using a tiger mouth, you drive their chin up like this because basically anywhere someone's head goes, their body will always follow. So you push their head all the way back to pull their body off balance. Then from there, you use that same tiger mouth to hammer down on their Adam's apple. And then you take them down to the ground. So now let's go ahead and have Dean give it a try. So first he's going to step back nonchalantly into a defensive position with his arms up.
Whoa, easy, Tiger.
Man, do I look like Tiger Woods to you? I go for that punch, moves laterally, boom, and then he just follows up with an elbow to my ribs. Okay? Or if I'm not a very smart fighter, I don't have a good guard up, he goes down, and then boom, ridge hand to the other side of the throat. Good. So guys, one point I want to make about the ridge hand is that these can be a little bit dangerous to actually do on somebody. If you hit them full on to the front of the throat like this, you can really seriously hurt them. Okay? If you hit them in the side of the throat here, you could also hurt them, or you may just knock them out because there's major blood work that runs along both sides of the neck here. You hit it hard, it sends a rush of blood either up or down, and then they just fall down. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. I'm going to go ahead and punch you in the face as fast as I can. I want you to get out of the way and then counter me with an elbow, okay? Ready? Boom. Nice. One more time. Boom. One more time. Boom. Like that. So now, let's have Dean go ahead and try that throw as well. Okay? So from here, I step in with a big punch. Boom. He moves laterally. He steps in. That's good. Okay. He comes up around like that. This, my friends, is why you have to train the technique. Okay, so now let's have Dean try it again.
No.
Come on, dude, do it again.
No.
I got to show everybody
No,
what you did.
man, no.
But I got to show everybody what you did wrong.
It's a trick.
Come on, dude, come on, just one more time,
You gonna show me how?
Yeah, I'm going to show you how. Okay, come on, let's try it. Okay. I go ahead and I throw that punch. Boom, he steps laterally to get out of the way. Steps in like this. Okay. So this, my friends, is where Dean made his mistake. If you'll notice, his hips or his rear is still very much in front of mine, which means I'm in a superior position. So that if I took my arm like this, then from there, because my hips are in front, it's really easy for me to just throw him instead. So what he needs to do is when he does that step in, he needs to step in far enough so that his hips are past my hips. Okay, and then tighten up the leg.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So then from there, no matter how hard I try and no matter how much energy I use, I can't throw him because he's in the superior position. Whereas if he uses just enough energy, he could take me down. Now the other thing that's missing right now is that he's got me by the throat, and okay, that's got its advantages, but what you really want to do if you want to take them off balance is instead you want to use that tiger mouth to drive their head backwards. So if he pushes my head back like this, my body is going to naturally follow, and then if you were to see my feet, you can see that I'm all the way up on my toes. And then once they're up on their toes like that, all you have to do is use just a little bit of force on their Adam's apple, pushing straight down, and you can take them down. So guys, that's it. That's as far as I'm going to take it with straight punches. And as with any punch, just like I said on the episode on haymakers, the most important thing is simply that you get out of the way. With haymakers, you can go back or you can go under like this. With straight punches, your best option, as far as I'm concerned, is moving laterally. Side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side. And then from there, taking actions to cut them off right then. Just like I said in the last episode, you really, really, really don't want to let them get tempo, so you want to cut it off like that. If not immediately after the first punch, then even before the first punch takes place. Okay? You want to do whatever you have to diffuse the situation. If you can't diffuse it verbally or you can't diffuse it peacefully, then you diffuse it physically as fast and as soon as you can. The other thing to keep in mind as well is that I want you guys to be very, very careful about the idea of throwing someone or trying to take them to the ground if you don't have that thrower, if you don't have that takedown solidly. If you're up in your feet and you don't necessarily know that much about fighting, then you can just move until you can get an opening and go. If you end up on the ground and you don't know anything about fighting, then you're tied up and it's way harder to get yourself out of the situation safely. And also you're in a lot more dangerous of a position if they happen to get on top of you or something like that. So if you're going to go for the throw or anything like that, really, really be sure that you train it and then you have that technique really down pat before you try something like that. Okay? So folks, that's it. So now if you're down at the Ringo having a Britney and then some homeboy runs up on you just tripping as if he's on Jack Black, now y'all know how to handle yourselves. Thanks so much for watching and hope to see you next time. Yosh!
On Jack Black. What the hell does that mean?